Hey guys, Tokyo Treats here with another fairly easy DIY project for your LPS pet. Today I'm going to show you how to make this cute little tree house for your pet. Okay, so for this project you'll need a Pringles can. I use this as the base for my tree house. You'll also want appropriate scrapbooking paper. Here this obviously looks like a tree, however, if you are particularly artistic you could just use brown construction paper and actually draw tree-like swirls. Or you could just use brown construction paper and that would be just fine too. Green construction paper for your roof. A tiny bit of brown construction paper for your windows. A circle whose diameter is 6 to 7 inches in length. So I have here, I just used a dog bowl. And how you measure your diameter is to take your ruler and you'll want from one side of the circle to the other to be between 6 and 7 inches. That's about the size of the circle that you'll need for the roof of your treehouse. Along those lines, you'll also want a pencil, scissors, a glue stick, glue. I'm using super glue, a half of a pecan if you've got one. Otherwise, you could probably just use some cardboard to make your little flower window. Some bendaroos, which are these little wax strips. You've probably heard me mention in other DIY videos. They're great for so many fun little things, including making tiny little flowers. If you don't have bendaroos, you could make flowers using construction paper. You could even pick flowers out of your backyard if you have weeds like we do and have cute little flowers. You could use those. You may or may not need a piece of cardboard, depending on how you want to make your rug. I wrapped a piece of fabric over a piece of cardboard and inserted it into my home because I wanted my rug to be a little bit raised. You could just cut out a rug using colorful scrapbook paper, or if you have a piece of fabric you could just cut out a circle and that could be your rug. And then pom-poms or a pillow or any accessory that you want inside your treehouse. You're also going to need an oval shape for the opening for your treehouse. I googled an oval shape and then I just shrunk it to the size that I knew that I wanted, printed it out and used that for my template. For my windows, I just used a shampoo cap. You'll also need a brown or black marker. And finally, and most importantly, you'll need an X-Acto knife. These are super sharp. I've cut myself and it's not wonderful. If you're a child, and especially if you have never used one of these before, be sure to get someone's help. And be sure when making your cuts to go very slowly and be very, very, very careful. Okay, so let's get started. First, you'll need to cut your can. I made this treehouse using half of a can because in a previous video I made a dog bed out of the bottom of my can, and so I still had a top part and I wanted to do something fun with it. But if you have the entire Pringles can, you could actually make it like a two-level treehouse just by inserting some sort of cardboard to divide your top from your bottom. If you decide you want a treehouse similar to mine, then you'll want to cut your Pringles can. I cut mine at about the halfway mark. It depends on how tall you want your treehouse to be. Once you've decided how tall you want it, go ahead and make a line all the way around, and then you'll be using your X-Acto knife, you're going to cut the line. And there's my line. Now I'm going to score it before I cut into my can. Okay, very carefully take your X-Acto knife and you're just going to score it along your line. So when you begin cutting, it'll be easier to cut. So we'll score it all the way around and then we'll actually begin cutting. Okay, if it ends up being a little jagged, that's okay because your treetop is going to cover that. Okay, so now that you have it scored, you're going to start back on your line, carefully push, and begin taking your X-Acto knife along the area that you've scored. Okay, and there you have it. The next step is to wrap our container. Once your tree is wrapped, now we can begin making our door and windows. To do that, take your oval shape and place it where you want your door, and then trace. And do the same for your windows. Now using our X-Acto knife, once again, we're going to score all around our trace and then cut in. And note that when you score it, your paper will fall away. That is inevitable, and that's fine. I've tried it the other way where I wrapped it, or I punched the holes and then I wrapped it and poked it through. You could do it that way, but it just seems like this is a little bit easier. Okay, so when you're done, it should look something like this. And also, don't throw away the pieces that you've cut out, because there may be a use for these later on down the road. Okay, so now we've got a little bit, some jaggediness going on. I have yet to figure out a way to avoid that. So if you find a way, be sure to let me know in the comment section, please. So how I tackled this issue was just to trace all of my edges with a black marker. Okay, so this time instead of using black, I used brown. So now we can begin decorating our treehouse. First off, we'll need a floor. Okay, to create your rug, the best way I found to do this, the rug needs to be a little bit smaller than the actual can. It's more the circumference of that inside loop. The best thing I've found is just to trace your can, but then when you cut it, you'll cut your circle inside of the line that you've traced to give you the smaller circle which will actually fit inside. For my rug, I used the same thought process that I used when I made the pet bed in another video, also out of a Pringles can. I cut a piece of cardboard to fit inside of my can and then wrapped it with a holey sock that I cut apart, keeping the good pieces of the sock. And then I just wrap it around my cardboard and tape it together. This then becomes an elevated rug in my house. To make your windows, cut out 4 equal-sized thin strips from your brown construction paper. I tried using actual twigs, which I thought would look really fun, but they were a little bit too thick they just didn't quite work. But you might have better luck using twigs. I just thought they poofed out a little bit too much when I tried to glue them inside of my can. So 4 strips, about like this, and now glue them into crosses. Glue inside your house like so. For this I use super glue. Be sure before adding your glue you have your window frames centered exactly where you want them. For my flower bed I used a pecan shell that I broke in half and then glued it to the side. If you don't have a pecan shell, you could just use a piece of cardboard. You could fold over a piece of cardboard and use that. To make your flowers, just take your bendaroo. You want to cut about half of your bendaroo off, and then you can just roll the top into a flower. Do that with a couple of other colors. Wrap around, bunch up the bottom, and place in your pot, like so. Now it's time to make our roof. Cut out a circle with your construction paper. Again, the diameter should be about 6 to 7 inches. Once your circle is cut a slit along the bottom and then simply twist until you have the cone shape that you desire for your roof. Once you have it, you can either tape it or glue it. Then either glue or just simply place your roof on top. Toss in some pom-poms. Add a pet. Or if you've got the teensies, a handful of pets, and you're good to go. Well guys, I sure hope you enjoyed the video. Thanks so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, check Rainbow Tinkle out on Facebook, and be sure to tune in for my next easy DIY project for your LPS pet. Thanks so much guys. Bye!